2018 Mercedes-Benz AMG GT Roadster Review. The good points of Mercedes-Benz AMG GT Roadster. Great-looking high-performance convertible. Charismatic and powerful engines. Fun driving experience. Comfortable and refined cruiser. Fast roof that operates up to 30 miles per hour. The bad points of Mercedes-Benz AMG GT Roadster. Small boot. Poor rear visibility. Interior rattles. High running costs. Awkward secondary ergonomics. As the name suggests, the Mercedes-AMG GT Roadster may be the open-top convertible version in the Mercedes-AMG GT Coupe, a high-performance race car built with a specialist subdivision of Mercedes-Benz. It will come in two variants, the standard GT Roadster plus the faster GTC Roadster. Both are powered by way of a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, which drives the trunk wheels with a 7-speed automatic gearbox. Rivals are the more potent turbo versions in the Porsche 911 convertible, the Aston Martin V8 Vantage Roadster, the Jaguar F-Type SVR convertible along with the Audi R8 Spider. There are a variety of reasons for choosing a car this way, however the chief decision makers will tend to be style and gratification. Why choose the Mercedes-AMG GT Roadster? If it's style you're after, the standard AMG GT Roadster has it in spades. This can be a statement-making car, with the electric-operated soft-top that can be purchased in a number of 3 colors, opens or closes in 11 seconds and will be operated at nearly 30 miles per hour. Lowering your roof gives you the chance to appreciate better the glorious noise generated by the AMG V8. Performance isn't exactly scarce, either, as even this entry-level model has 476 horsepower and goes from 0.62 miles per hour in 4.0 seconds. However, if it's performance you wish, the GTC will probably be worth the extra expense. Not only does its version in the engine create a shocking great 557 horsepower, and sprint from 0.62 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds, the C borrows numerous components in the Mercedes-AMG GTR, which currently tops the coupe range. Modifications include rear-wheel steering along with an electronically controlled limited-slip differential newer than the mechanical version fitted in the normal GT Roadster. In addition we have an extra driving mode race, adaptive suspension and wider-spaced rear wheels for increased grip, in return necessitating wider bodywork in the GTC Roadster also has a higher level of normal equipment, although the GT's optional premium equipment line pack goes one method or another towards bridging the gap. The C's aggressive looks might not be for everyone, however. Charisma of burning. Whichever AMG GT Roadster you ultimately choose, you'll receive a head-turning convertible that's not only quickly but loaded with charisma, through the sound it will make to its voluptuous proportions. The interior arguably outclasses every rival in the above list. The normal equipment specification is high and it's easily comfortable enough to pay vast distances. Anyone shopping in this area from the market includes a tough decision for making, but this 3-pointed star would most likely be close to the top of our list. Keep watching the whole Mercedes-AMG GT Roadster review on for much more information. Excellent response from 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8. GTC is exceedingly fast, but GT no slouch. Standard 7-speed automatic is successful. Both versions on the AMG GT Roadster are powered by fundamentally the identical 4.0-liter V8 engine. This is specially created by AMG due to its performance variants of Mercedes' regular model range, but is specially at home through the marque's bespoke sports vehicle. The engine features two turbochargers, positioned relating to the cylinder banks. This hot inside V configuration is claimed to improve response and increase efficiency. All good is that it sounds fabulous, and goes as being a cartoon anvil thrown off a cliff. Power, torque, 062 miles per hour and top speed. In the GT Roadster, the engine produces 476 horsepower at 6,000 revolutions per minute and 630 Nm from 1,7500 revolutions per minute, and that is enough for 062 miles per hour in 4.0 seconds and also a 188 miles per hour top speed. The GTC Roadster gets 557 horsepower from 5,7506, 750 revolutions per minute and 680 Nm from 1,9005, 750 revolutions per minute, 062 miles per hour takes 3.7 seconds, and top speed is 196 miles per hour, fast and faster. The difference in potency involving the two models is unquestionably palpable, but that's nowhere near the identical as saying a normal GT Roadster feels underpowered. The engine response is especially good for any turbocharged car. In case anything, the sound Celebrate is more cultured than that from the GTC. In the C, the V8 rumble is overlaid by a lot more obvious turbo noise, in line with its more frenetic nature. Gearbox and driving modes. Both cars feature the identical 7-speed AMG SpeedShift automatic transmission. This is generally well behaved and keen to impress, though that is similar to most AMG cars, will get caught between upshifts in manual mode if you are not quick enough when pulling the steering wheel mounted paddle shifter for the following gear. Gladly, the fully automatic settings work alright. A standard fit driving mode selector provides a choice of Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus settings around the GT, with the additional race mode about the GTC. These modes get progressively more urgent, with corresponding adaptation on the engine, gear shift times and suspension in which the variable damping technique is fitted. Classic performance car formula. Plus added twist of rear wheel steering. Very satisfying they are driving. The GT Roadster conforms on the classic template for a performance car, big engine at the start sending power to corner wheels. However, Mercedes-AMG hasn't only positioned the engine further back in order that it sits behind the leading axle, it's built the chassis which has a mix of materials, including steel, aluminum, magnesium and composites, designed to deliver strength and optimized weight distribution. The result's a stiff structure along with a well-balanced car. Grip levels are high, while body roll can be quite well suppressed, even the adaptive suspension's comfort setting. It gets better and much better the faster you drive, and delivers a whole lot of driver satisfaction with a challenging road. No matter whether you've got 476 horsepower or 557 horsepower you can use. Rear wheel steering, exactly what it does for that GTC Roadster. There are differences relating to the two models, however, which largely center about the GTC's standard fit rear wheel steering. This actively controls the angle with the rear wheels, pointing them inside the opposite direction on the front wheels at lower speeds to accomplish tighter turning, switching to the identical direction as top wheels at speeds above 62 miles per hour for greater stability. In general, this works almost imperceptibly, though if you're really pressing giving you can feel it pivoting your vehicle into hairpin turns, and simply occasionally you may misjudge the number of steering lock required, because car changes direction better abruptly than expected. For probably the most part, however, It serves to present the GT's remarkable agility for something so large, in ways that is impressively seamless. The standard GT Roadster remains to be fun. This just isn't to say the standard GT Roadster is dull to push, far away from it, in truth. If anything, without the trunk axle mucking in regards to, you get a purer experience, with all the reduced variation in cornering response, placing more emphasis for the driver with regards to making quick progress. We enjoyed driving it a good deal, but the spine wheel steering is actually by no means a must-have. Unusually large center console. Some awkward ergonomics. Premium quality look. The GT Roadster uses exactly the same central structural tub as Mercedes' older SLS-AMG supercar. We mention this since it also carries over a rare interior characteristic for that reason, an exceptionally large center console, which dominates your entire cabin, separating driver and passenger. It all feels and looks very good inside, rapidly occasional rattles emanating from the test cars. But the positioning on the heavily stylized 8-button layout for the central tunnel, and that is supposed to remind you will discover 8 cylinders in the bonnet, like the noise they've created would ever allow you to forget, implies that you sometimes feel as if double-jointed elbows could be helpful to operate them. Good driving position, mixed visibility. Still, there's a lot of adjustment from the steering and seating position, so it's easy to find a comfy driving position. And although you'll choose the sheer width and the car needs a little initial calibration, forward visibility is unquestionably that it's never hard to position for the road. Rear visibility, about the other hand, is far less user-friendly. The back on the car is quite high, for the point that shorter drivers may find it hard to check their over-the-shoulder blind spot. We've only tested the adaptive suspension thus far. Comfort and composure impress. Dynamic Plus package more compromised. Every version on the GT Roadster we've up to now been able to drive an automobile has been fitted with adaptive suspension, which varies the response with the shock absorbers so that you can balance ride comfort against body roll and side corners, as required. This system has come about as standard around the GTC Roadster but is merely optional within the more basic GT Roadster. Its behavior is relying on the driving mode selector, but there's additionally a separate button around the center console to activate or deactivate these Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus quantities of damping independently, offering you even greater control over the automobile. Fitted into a regular GT Roadster, the amount of general comfort this technique delivers borders about the exceptional for a fancy car. Even the firmer modes deal brilliantly with bumps, making for smooth progress over bad surfaces. Good news for your UK. More focused possibilities open. The GTC Roadster we sampled, however, seemed to be fitted using the Dynamic Plus package, including stiffer suspension and active engine mounts that harden for greater handling accuracy during faster driving. This might sound exciting, but be cautious before you select this choice. We found there were far more noise and road shock delivered to the GTC's cabin, therefore, with bumps that will barely merit a ripple from the GT causing a wince inside the car with Dynamic Plus fitted. Impressive roof, but a great number of rattles. Elsewhere we had been impressed through the refinement achieved by a fuel-air convertible top in the event it was in its raised position, but surprised that both cars exhibited many minor but irritating rattles. The firmer GTC was the worst culprit normally made available. But in either case we may expect better coming from a car which costs so much money. This can be a luxury vehicle together with a sporting one, so it's well appointed, but scope for even more personalization as required. There are merely the 2 trim levels, each tied to your specific engine. These will be the highlight items of ordinary equipment around the more basic GT Roadster. Command online infotainment system with sat-nav, DAB and Bluetooth. 19-inch alloy wheels. Wind deflector. AMG performance exhaust. Heated AMG sports seats. Air scarf and also hard wearing. Neck warm. Black nap leather upholstery. Mechanical limited slip differential. The GTC Roadster adds these extra items. Larger 20-inch wheels at the trunk. Burmester surround sound hi-fi system. Reversing camera. Keyless ignition. AMG performance controls. Red brake calipers. Active rear wheel steering. Electronically controlled limited slip differential. Adaptive suspension. You could decide among 3 colors for the top at no extra charge, black, red and beige, and both models can be obtained with carbon ceramic brakes for increased stopping power. We found these rather grabby in everyday driving, however, so just like the Dynamic Plus package highlighted inside comfort part of this review, unless you're intending to regularly drive on course they are not something we'd recommend. The standard brakes will be more than as much as the job around the road. The premium equipment line option package for a normal GT Roadster includes keyless ignition, Burmester hi-fi, reversing camera, and brushed stainless door sill finishers with AMG written in it. All of this has come about as standard for the GTC Roadster. Structure specially strengthened with the Roadster. 3-stage stability control. 7 airbags, but latest safety aids extra. Open-top cars represent a much better risk of injury if and when they be flipped over in any sort of accident. To compensate just for this, the GT Roadster is equipped with rollover bars, attached with an aluminum cross-member behind the seats. One of many additional strengthening processes that complete the transformation from coupe to convertible. Sophisticated 3-stage stability control is protected as standard, to help you tailor its a higher-level assistance to your driving style, and all sorts of GT Roadsters get 7 airbags. Active safety comes at expense. You need to pay extra for the latest active safety aids, for instance front distance alert, lane departure warning, which Mercedes confusingly names lane keeping assist, and blind spot monitors. Autonomous emergency braking isn't offered by all. This might seem surprising for a very expensive car, but it's not unusual to get a sporting model. There isn't any Euro NCAP score for that AMG GT. Spacious for a few passengers. Enough boot space for weekend bags. This is really a 2-seater sports vehicle with a folding fabric roof occupying some on the coupe version's boot space. You won't be buying this as it's practical. However, the 165-liter boot is large enough for weekend bags. That may probably suit most buyers all right. Passenger space is obviously adequate, though having a relatively high window line, this kind of large center console as well as the tall backside behind you, it will feel a bit like you're sat in a really fancy bathtub.